All right, we are live on Amplified Impact in the Facebook group. If you're listening to this in your ears on the podcast, welcome. I am so excited because today we have Coach Riley with us. Coach Riley is one of my clients from Amplified Impact. And just before this conversation even started, we're like, it's only been a month since we stopped working together, and so much has happened. Riley is a nomadic entrepreneur. She's multi-passionate about helping people wanting to live to their highest versions. She was born and raised in Bulgaria, and she moved to the United States in 2003. As an immigrant, she understands the pressures of new cultures and societal expectations. So valuable. She is someone who does not fit into a box. Raise your hands if that's you. It's hard to put us into a box, right? She loves learning through personal life experiences, education, travel, and connection, which is why she is where she is today. Thank you, Coach Riley, for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Cannot express when I first, connected with you until today, like what growth just in personal and professional life I have had. As we have said it before, we'll say it again. We all need support by finding the right fit and connection with somebody. So thank you for being my support as well throughout all of this.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. Just a little backstory. What's really cool about Riley and I is we randomly just found each other on Instagram, and after a weekend, it's I think I'm gonna hire you, and I know I don't really know you, but it's you trusted this intuition, this pull that you had towards me, and it was really cool because you just led yourself through. It's can you explain that process? Because what if someone finds you today, or someone listening to this finds me today, and they're like, but I just found you. Can I really hire you now? Because I know how important support is. I just made an Instagram post on this. You know the value, but what happens when you feel that pull towards someone, the right mentor?
Yeah, I have done some free coaching prior to that. I was definitely in the time where I wanted to have somebody that has the knowledge and has the skills. I will be very honest with you. People do shop, but I really did not really shop around. I can't exactly express the feeling, but the intuition that you're speaking of, it's I understood how you and I are just connected. I have never really worked with you before. We've never saw each other, but I just felt connected. And I also felt that this will be just a great starting point in my launch and just understanding myself, because you don't just work with new entrepreneurs or people launching their business. You're multi-passionate yourself, which I'm all about as well, since we're both in a background of yoga teaching and meditation and that spiritual space. So I knew that it wasn't going to be just straightforward like a lot of people talk about it. It was going to be a lot of different things that we can take that we have already even had in our lives. Like for me, my practice, and for you and what you helped us embody. And through the practice of that, I felt even more connected. Me having that connection from the past really helped me. But when you have that feeling, I would say, go for it. If the money, I told myself a long time ago, if the money is the issue, there is another layer for you to work on yourself, because scarcity of financial means is very real for a lot of people. And I know holding on to that money may think that it's going to make you richer, but for me, it's the opposite. Letting go of that, financial, scarcity of being oh my God, I'm going to let go of that money. I just decided to let it go. I knew what I was investing in was bigger than me, but the belief in what I was starting and doing, what just led me, just doesn't matter. Just put it on the card. You already got the funds. This is bigger than me, and this is going to bring me so much more than what I paid. And absolutely, every time I continue to invest in myself, would that be through education, coaching, mentorship, it pays forward, and I become more confident in my path because I am taking the steps.
Riley, you touched on so many different places that we could take this. And I just want to like clarify for those of you that are listening, it's like, because of the way that I show up online as a multi-passionate entrepreneur, talking about my story, what made me me, how spirituality is really how we grow when it comes to our business, how I was a yoga teacher and now I am a business coach. Those are the things that attracted Riley to me. So be sure that when you're showing up online, show up in all of your different forms, because that's why people will hire you. And then, as Riley said, trust the intuition. Trust that pull that calls you, and then return on investment. I took a yoga teacher training back in 2012. I'm still getting return on investment. I hired a mentor, my first coach, in 2019, still getting return on that investment, and I'm not using his strategy. So whatever it is that you feel the pull, however it is that you invest, trust that inner knowing inside of you that you feel pulled to that for a reason. And I love Riley because when we were in the conversation, she was like, let me see if I need to put this on a card, if I pay in full, if I do a payment plan. And she's like, I'd like to pay in full, please. Because she understands the value of investing. And then like halfway through, she's like, yeah, I hired you and I hired someone else. And like, yeah, but she believes in herself. And at one point, Riley like sent me a message, and I hope this is okay that I share, but she's like, Amber, she was literally crying. She's like, I know that I'm on the right path. And I know because I just got initiated into what it means when it clicked in my brain to be the embodiment of my work. And, Riley, maybe you can just walk us through some of the things that you grew as a person, business wise, spiritually wise, like, what did working together through Amplified Impact do for you as a human and a business owner, entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I have been on a spiritual journey for quite some time, since pretty much when I went to India in 2018, but really had a lot to work through. And I think when we kind of began, there was still work to do, but in a very like more confident way, and just understanding that everything has led me to here. I guess where to begin, really. I am someone who comes from a background of people who think that I have to go find a corporate job, I have to go to college, perhaps even get married and just do that XYZ that society has very much told us, and we go through life. But something in me just didn't sit well, right? So I am breaking these limited beliefs and this I guess generational beliefs too, in a way of just understanding that the opportunity is available and I am capable. Now, how am I going to move forward? Well, that's up to me, to my mindset, and to really the belief in yourself. Breaking these limited beliefs have just shown me of how capable I am. I'm also sharing this with my family. Would they understand everything? No. They still work their jobs. And I'm very proud of each family member that I do have. And I still have a part-time job right now, but I am moving forward in my business and in how I want to help and impact this world by the time I leave it. This is not for today. This is not for this year. This is long term. So when I look back, I would say, well, I took all the risks and I led with heart, with love, and this was the result. And I want to feel proud of that instead of regretting things. So I will never regret losing some money. I would regret not having that experience and learning from it. So I guess the moment we started working together in the mentorship, I was a person who's like, all right, I guess I'm going to open up a business. I have no idea what it's all going to take, but I'm going to move forward. You not only provided modules and steps for us to realize this is how we can do it, and this is the new marketing. I come from a marketing background in university. 9 years later, marketing in this new social media, in this internet world has absolutely changed, which was really helpful for me to understand. But I think the biggest thing for me isn't just about the systems. The systems, they'll get there. It was for me to embody and become this businesswoman, this entrepreneur, to believe in it, because that was unheard of, at least in my story and in my history. And that was a thing that took our actually entire mentorship that I continued practicing and embodying, and through the modules, through, the work, the spiritual work that we did. So going into 2023, I was confident and I knew the foundation that I was standing in. That way, it helped me move with confidence in my business and how I'm now showing up online. Absolutely.
I love you so much. And I have goosebumps from my head to my toes, because the way in which you just like encompassed this journey that we went on together is everything that like I set out to do in this program. And that is like, this is a long-term vision. And I remember at one point in our working together, you're like, you wanted it all right now. It's like, and then there's just like, oh, I don't have to get all of the modules today and implement them all today. But if you go look at Riley's Instagram, she's implementing it so beautifully, the way in which she lets her life lead her business. And she's redefining success. I don't know who else is listening to this that's like, yep, society told me go to college, get the degree. This is the way that we're going to become successful. And then you're like, I'm so. And then you have to show your parents and your grandparents that like, you're going to move. Riley lives in Mexico. You're going to move to Mexico and you're going to change people's lives and teach them how to live as the highest version of themselves. What exactly is it that you do? But you have to be in your power. And that is where the confidence comes. And I don't know if you guys heard this, but I'm going to highlight it. She's still working a job. That is okay. You want your root chakra stability, pay the bills, money in the bank, the ability to know that your funds are there to invest in mentorship, to invest in support, to invest in education, to pay your freaking bills until your business takes off. But in just 2 months of us working together, she now has the momentum, the foundation, the confidence to keep putting into her business until she can leave her 9 to 5. She doesn't work 9 to 5 anymore. She's now half-time. So it's step by step, little by little. But the most important thing that I heard from her that she has now is self-belief and confidence and the ability to break the rules. And let's talk about breaking the rules as a multi-passionate entrepreneur. So tell me, Riley, I know that you are multi-passionate. It's how we ended up here together. How did me running this program and really being inspirational to you as a multi-passionate entrepreneur teach you how you can break the rules and bring all of yourself into your business?
Oh my gosh, everything. Seriously, I know that some people do have that one specific thing, right? It's like for them is just coaching, and coaching at specific topics, and that is perfectly okay because you know what it is. The thing is, like, I am passionate about a lot of things. I am passionate about mental health, so that comes out in my business because I do coach in positive mindset and healing inner critics, also healing, the trauma that's within you to really bring that out. But not thinking that you have to go in such a straight line, like mainstream, maybe I would say, and realizing I I don't have to do these things. I don't have to follow this. This may work for somebody, and I've always been a rule breaker myself, right? I don't fit into a box, but I also needed for somebody else like yourself to show me that things can coexist, because I've been told that sometimes things cannot coexist. This, at least in my work and what you have shown me, it is absolutely the opposite. They can and they will coexist. It's all connected, it's all part of wellness in my eyes.
Yeah. And like what you said at the beginning of that conversation, being multi-passionate is a superpower. It's not being niched is bad and being multi-passionate is good. It's honing who you are. And if you help people lose weight, women who just had a baby, if you help people grow their business to 3K, if you help people balance their hormones, if you have one passion and that's what lights you up and keeps your soul on fire, you're lucky, And if you're multi-passionate and you have all these different gifts and you know how to help people transform, you're lucky. It doesn't matter which way it is. There's no right or wrong way. It's honing your gifts, who you are, what you're good at, and letting that be how you lead your life and how you transform your clients. Because at the end of the day, this is about who we help and how we help them. So Riley, take us on a journey. What is your process? Like, how do you help your clients as a multi-passionate nomadic entrepreneur? What do you love to do? Like, where is someone when they start working with you, and where is the desired outcome?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I wanted to just touch base on previously, just be open to the things that drive you, to the things that are passionate. Don't suppress them. It's part of you. So it's a beautiful thing if we're able to just stay curious and stay open and bring them forward. For the process that I take on my clients, it's pretty much the process that a lot of us are either in or have been, or we see bits and pieces of that in our life. And that is going from like a negative mindset, a negative self-talk, a inner critic that tells you that probably you're not good enough for this. You're not pretty enough for it. You don't look like the other people on the internet. You can't really get that job that you want because you don't have the skills. Whatever that negative self-talk and inner critic is telling you, it stems from our past experiences and what we have experienced in the past. But we're bringing everything up to today, to the present moment, where I lead with mindfulness and breath work and meditation, which is included and it is part of my program. Because being mindful and staying present will help you have that change from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. Within the process, we talk about current goals that you do have, that you're wanting to accomplish, and we're taking these action steps. However, we work on the root problem, on the root issue. Would that be self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, self-worth, all very important aspects within ourselves that we can build, but we need to work on the root problem. And that root problem can, like I said, can be from past experience, can be from trauma, the way limited beliefs, self-expectations, and perhaps not connecting to yourself. So in the process and in the program, which is 3 months, we not only work on your current goal or goals, but we are really focusing on making the positive change that you're able to continuing on. And this is a lifelong journey. This is just the beginning of it. And that is through changing language. The language that you speak to yourself is so important. The way you treat yourself, because we're always givers. A lot of us are givers, people pleasers, as we say, but we don't tend to do that for ourselves. So we work on all of this for a client to become more connected, and then are they not only seeing their goals being accomplished. For instance, I have a client that is working on changing her career from where she's at to somewhere new because it's speaking to her and she's wanting to find her way in it as she's working through the inner critic and that mindset that may be pulling her back a bit. And we are taking each week steps, techniques, tools, and being kind to ourselves is the most important part for her to make that change within the time that we work together. Like I said, this is not a quick fix. There is no formula, but it is about wanting and improving, actually making the change and not just intending to make the change. You are currently, presently, and aware of working on these negative patterns and behaviors so you can look forward to a more positive mindset and the way you see your day, the world, your life.
I love this so much because it's really like, if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. But it's not as easy as just being like, oh, that's a negative thought, I'm going to change it to a positive. It's layer after layer, onion after onion. And the moment that you become aware of your inner critic, then it's like, okay, now what? And that's where breathing exercises come in and meditation tools and having a mentor to come and talk to and go through this process together. So you don't have to do it alone. And it's individualized because your inner critic is different than my inner critic. And the way I talk to myself is different than the way Riley talks to herself and the way that you talk to yourself. And so this journey that you take people on really gets to be personalized based upon the goals that they want to hit. And I love that you spoke on like it being a 3-month-long journey because it takes time to change the way in which we think. You know, they say 21 days to build a habit, but 90 days to really create a lifestyle. And this isn't like a quick fix. It's like, you can work with Riley. And then if you stop using the tools and techniques she gives you, then what? Well, then you just go backwards. So it's like really changing the way in which you show up and you live your life with constant awareness and practicing self-love, loving yourself. And I always talked about this when I was a self-love coach, is like being your best cheerleader, like cheering yourself on and loving yourself and being your own best friend. And I'm sure that that weaves somewhere into your program too, Riley. But I love that the way in which you talk about this is like really holding space for the person to become aware of what they're thinking. And it's not easy to admit the way we talk to ourselves or the way we treat ourselves. And when we do, something shifts. And it's like when we're able to take our own advice and talk to ourselves in the way that we talk to other people, everything changes, right? It's easy to take advice. It's easy to give advice, but to take your own advice is like what we talked about, amplified impact, becoming fully embodied. It's like, oh, I know I can tell her to do that, but for me to do that, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Telling yourself to not be the bully in your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Riley, you are living in Mexico. You're a nomadic, multi-passionate entrepreneur. What are you currently launching? What are some ways if someone's listening right now and they're like, I want to work with Riley. I really want to work on my negative thought patterns. Like, what's the best way for us to find you? What is it that you're launching or running right now? How can we plug in with you? Oh, one thing that I have to celebrate that just came to my mind. Are you collaborating with another fellow Amplified Impact in Colorado that you weren't even in the program with, Christy Taylor?
Yes. Yes, we are. Like you say, take it step by step. It doesn't have to be all done today in all the modules that you taught us. And the community is there. It's also, you have to put yourself out there. And yes, I'm really excited because like you connect people, you connected us, and we're all from Colorado. I lived there for many years. You have as well. You and I are travelers, and people that want to live that lifestyle. But I love going back to Colorado. I love the state that I lived in for so long and everything that came from it. So yes, Christy and I are doing a workshop together in mid-March. And I'm super excited to be able to collaborate with somebody to also bring some similar passions and different in the same room. So there will be more of a bigger chat about it later in the month with her and I. But the way you are able to find me is on Instagram. It is at Coaching with Riley, as well as TikTok at Coaching with Riley, and then my Facebook page, which is O'Reilly Pavlova. Those will be the 3 social media places I'm at. Very active on Instagram and Facebook in regards to my coaching and what I am currently offering. So with that being said, I do have a few things that are already out there. One of them, it is my signature one-on-one program, which we just discussed. It is one of my greatest joys because when I leave that one-on-one call, like my heart is bursting with so much love and so much just understanding. And it is a growth for me. It is a growth for them. And I just always get excited. So my one-on-one coaching is one of my favorite things, and my program, which is 3 months. And then I do have a community. It is called the Courageous Souls Community, which is found on Discord. It is a monthly membership where everything we have already talked about here and some more is actually on that community. So we talk about how to change your mindset, how to create a better routine and self-care for yourself, being able to connect with others, because we are not alone in this. None of us are. Sharing more about myself and being connected, through weekly live chats. So that is my community, and I cannot wait to welcome more people in, as this is very new. I just announced it. And the workshop in March is my next big thing that I will be announcing here soon as well.
I will plug all of your amazing offerings into the show notes. I'll tag you on Instagram. Thank you everyone for being here. If you found value out of this, take a screenshot, tag Riley and I on Instagram. Let us know that you're listening. And if you desire to go through a journey of turning your gifts, your passions, your skills into an online business, then reach out about Amplified Impact. For me, one of the things that I love so much that I got so giddy about is like, I was on Instagram chatting with my past client, Christy, and she's like, oh, and I'm going to be collaborating with Riley. And I was like, hold the phone. And so for me, I love being able to connect like-minded women, one in Mexico, one in Colorado, and then being able to collaborate together. So you're going to create networking, connections, friendships, like my retreats, people that go through my programs come to the retreats together years down. They talk on Facebook every day. Like this community that you get to come into and really create a business where your life leads your business for more time freedom, money freedom, and most importantly, to make a bigger difference, or as we say here on Amplified Impact, make waves in the world, then you can check us out on amberhagberg.com/amplified impact 1. And thank you, Riley, for taking the time, for being here. And most importantly, if you're listening to this, go find her on Instagram because she is a joy to follow.
Thank you so much, Amber.